If you've been listening to me at all over the years, you know that I tell you need to spend a third of your time on learning. That's right. Not all of your time on writing and not all of your time on marketing, but a third of your time should be dedicated to learning. And the reason is because learning when it comes to self-publishing is the absolute most effective way to ensure you're applying the best strategies to get your book selling. As one of my clients who's 4 times the amount of sales this year as compared to last year, with just putting in some key strategies, it really can make such a difference if you're learning the right skills. But how exactly are you supposed to learn these skills? And the answer is it's going to be through courses, specifically self-publishing courses. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I think 6 or 7 of them to be exact. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. So let's get into it. The first one I want to discuss is Self-Publishing Made Easy Now. Now I know what you're thinking. This is exactly my courses that I have. I have one that deals with how to format your book, formatting made easy for self-publishers. And then we also have a content marketing course for self-publishers. And who exactly are these courses for? It's for people who haven't found a way to properly format your book, getting it into the right format that you're going to need to have it in order to get it onto Amazon, Lulu, Ingram Spark, Draft to Digital, any of the sites that you're looking at putting your book on. You're definitely going to want to get it formatted correctly. And there's no better way of doing this than going through a course on that. And that's why I offer my Formatting Made Easy course. The other is the Content Marketing Made Easy course, specifically focused on how to market your books. You can use paid ads as one direction, and content marketing is how we leverage the internet and the algorithms that are on the internet to help us reach as many people as possible with our books. But let's move on to my second pick for courses, and that would be Ingram Spark Academy courses. Now, there's a reason why I would recommend this. The first thing is I love Ingram Spark. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like Amazon, and I recommend going first with Amazon when you're going to be publishing your books. However, my number 2 pick and location where I recommend you to publish your books, it's going to be Ingram Spark. I make more money off of my paperback sales on Ingram Spark than I do on Amazon. And so, of course, I'm going to be recommending you're going to go with Ingram Spark, but they have free courses. Ingram Spark Academy courses are offered for free. You can find them right on YouTube under the Ingram Spark channel. They cover all sorts of issues, like just looking at some of their more recent ones, how to increase book sales potential, metadata for books, or how to build an author platform. They go through a lot of the key aspects. Now, this is a free course. So you're going to get what you can expect from that, but at the same time, there's a lot of useful information that you're definitely going to want to consider when you're getting into self-publishing, and there's a lot to be learned through Ingram Spark Academy courses. Number 3, Self-Publishing School. Now, the thing with Self-Publishing School that I find kind of interesting, and I listen to the podcast, and I listen to in many ways, I listen to all of the major top self-publishers as well, and the self-publishing coaches and guides, because I also stay on top of my strategies when it comes to self-publishing. I both publish books on a regular basis. Sometimes many of the gurus don't even publish books at all. I definitely am always publishing books at any given time in order to stay in the flow and understand the latest changes. And at the same time, I'm paying attention to the movers and shakers in the self-publishing world. And Self-Publishing School happens to be one of these. Now, this is a high-end premium service and based on the cost of the courses and coaching that they offer. So for people who really want a one and done, people who can do all of the services that you're going to need, Self-Publishing School is definitely worth considering to run your book through them. Their courses will also teach you all of the basic steps that you're going to need with self-publishing. The key is it is at a premium price, so that is one thing you definitely should consider, but I definitely respect the work that's done over there, and I do in fact listen to a lot of the strategies that they suggest, and I pass these things on, but with my own spin. That's what you should be doing as well, listening to different voices, figuring out what works best for you, what's causing your sales to double and triple, and then make sure that you apply those to your books and see what exactly the magic can be for you as well. Number 4, and this is one of my favorites, it's Authority Pub Academy. Now, the thing with Authority Pub Academy is I sort of go back to my early days of self-publishing. I learned some of my very first aspects of self-publishing through the writings of Steve Scott. And Steve Scott, the reason I remember him was when he was making $60,000 in a month off of his self-published books. Now he has two particular areas he does it. One is on habits, which I am a huge fan of this particular category, and the other is on self-publishing. He broke it down into simple steps that I was able to follow in the early days, and so I really appreciate the work of Steve Scott. And he's even helped me out with backlinks to my website, all sorts of stuff over the years. We've corresponded a little bit when I was first getting started, and so I have appreciated the work that he's done. And this is the academy that he has also on teaching on self-publishing. Can't say I've heard too much from him lately, because I don't think they no longer do the podcast and things that they used to previously have. So I'm not sure which project he's on to now, but I can say this is definitely one of those areas, and I really appreciate the work of Steve Scott. So this is something I would definitely say he knows what he's talking about on the self-publishing front. And what does he do? He gives you the exact steps that they use to create a full-time income from their books. That Steve Scott is the big one. I think Barry, I can't remember her name, but she was the other one who was also with that particular project when they were doing it. Then we're moving on to number 5, and that is Mark Dawson's course. Now, when he first came out, now what's really funny was I was very excited because I also went through like his free course back in 2016, I think it was, when he was coming out. It was a Facebook course because he was really raking it in from Facebook ads for his books. But there were a couple of things to keep in mind. He himself being a lawyer, I think he had written his books on trains every day. I even corresponded with him in email. I was pretty impressed when I was able to get in touch and talk with him directly on a couple of issues right about the time he was coming out with his Facebook course. Now, Facebook has become a lot less effective for authors, but he also is a general course as well when it comes to, in terms of his, let's see, one of them from the flagship advertising for authors to the foundational self-publishing 101. These are some of the courses that Mark Dawson currently is offering. I don't see so much of the Facebook book, but at the time he was doing really well. But one of the reasons also was because he would come out with bundles at a time. He would give away free books, lots of free books, and then you would get addicted to his writing style, and as an excellent writer, he was able to then pull you in and go. So the strategies being used did not necessarily work for many other authors unless you were also equally as good of a writer and were giving away these big bundles of books. Very impressive strategies. I've nothing negative to say about Mark Dawson and everything that he does, so I definitely can recommend checking out Mark Dawson's course. Definitely worth something to consider if you're somebody who's trying to figure this whole thing out. It also is at a little bit more of a premium price, just to keep that in mind. The next one is your first 10,000 readers, and this is another one that's fantastic because it's really broken down simply. One of the things that Nick Stevenson's is commenting, and he was also one of the ones I listened to in the early days of self-publishing, and his point is he's trying to help you get to 10,000 readers, where you have enough readers who are really loving your stuff that you're able to get into a full-time income off of it. And that's one of the reasons he has this promise, which is the $0 to $1,000 per month, which is a little bit funny after you've got so many books out. You're starting to think $1,000 is really not that much anymore. But the fact is that you have to start from somewhere, and many authors make nothing every month because they're just not following the right strategies. And that's one of the reasons he has his author marketing training. So this is the reason why you definitely should consider your first 10,000 readers, and that's an absolutely fantastic goal, trying to get these people in. And I can tell you, it goes really slowly in the beginning, but if you're doing the right strategies that I teach as well, then you're going to be learning as you go in order to how to build up and find these readers of your books. So the thing is, why exactly I chose these self-publishing courses? And there's a couple of reasons. One is I trust the people who are behind these courses. I've listened to them over the years. I continue to listen to many of them still after all of this time, listening and going through many of their courses. I have not been through some of the courses, but some of the courses I have been through. But they're continually coming out with new courses, and these are all authors well respected within the self-publishing area. And I think these are definitely things that you yourself should consider when you're getting into it. And so, in conclusion, you have to figure out what works best for you and who you resonate with. So when you're listening to different people's voices and the different influencers within the self-publishing area, you should find somebody that you know, like, and trust. Somebody who, when you're watching the videos, you think, I can understand this person is breaking this down and making it easy. And when you make that connection, the next natural step is to go, in fact, get the course. And that's one of the reasons with the Self-Publishing Made Easy Now courses that I offer, I make sure I go back and forth with you to ensure 100% you understand every step of the way. You get it all completely done. I don't care how many hours it takes. We want to make sure that there's not a single step in the process. Now, some courses that you take, and I'm not mentioning the ones here, but other fake gurus will actually tell tell you in their courses that they'll tell you to sign up, but they're teaching old strategies. They're no longer even publishing books anymore, so they don't even know what they're talking about. And if you try to contact them, they're too busy. They're doing something else like cryptocurrency or drop shipping, or they've just moved away from self-publishing, yet they tend to still teach these outdated methods. And that's one of the reasons why you really need to consider the courses that I've listed above as definite for consideration when you're trying to get started with self-publishing, or even if you're more advanced and you would like to learn some of the more advanced skills. These are things that you're definitely going to want to consider. My question for you today, though, is what courses have you found work best for you when it comes to self-publishing? Let me know below in the comments, and I will see you in the next video right up above. Take care.